So the cup final is over, all the hype is over, all the adrenaline has calmed down, and the dust has settled on everything to do with the Carabao Cup final. We turn our attention once again to the league, where we play Man City at the Etihad at lunchtime on Saturday. Now, ahead of that game, obviously, there's going to be a big build-up. You know, it's a huge game again for Newcastle United. They're certainly coming thick and fast at the moment. We do have some news from the injury front and a couple of transfer things that might be happening in the summer. But first of all, we start off with that man that's written on the bottom there. His utterly pathetic dig at Amanda Staveley again. Let's get into it. This is the Daily News. Hi everybody, I'm Paul back again, and as you can hear, my throat is extremely croaky. However, the show must go on. I'm starting to sound a bit like Sean Dyche. Excuse me. Simon Jordan, an absolute toolbag, a monstrosity of a man who simply hates Newcastle United, but more so hates our owner Amanda Staveley with an absolute passion. Jealousy, to say the least, is all this man feels. He's a failed football club owner at Crystal Palace. And now he's finding himself on TalkSport. He's gone from being a big businessman to an absolute plum, in my opinion. The way he speaks about Newcastle United, thinks he can dictate what the fans think all the time, and he's just completely wrong. Amanda, spoke to Jim White at Wembley on Sunday and said some lovely things about Newcastle United fans, lovely things about the club, and then basically told Jim White the direction she was wanting to take the club in and the new owners, which was to win everything, basically. Now, why wouldn't you have those kind of aspirations? If you've got that kind of money behind you, why would you not have the aspirations to go and win everything? It's just normal. You feel like that. And that's why PIF took us over, because they want to win everything. Now, Simon Jordan's comments are pretty much ridiculous, to be honest. He turned around and said, I think they've done what they anticipated they would do. This is just PR spin, talking about Amanda Staveley and what she said to Jim White. It's PR spin. You knew you were buying a football club, and that if you got them to a League Cup final, you would inundate London with fans. So let's dial down the fake humility and look at the reality. Now, what a disgusting thing to say by a monumental bellend. This guy, right, slags Newcastle United off all the time, and he's just so disapproving of our owners, and he hates that Amanda Staveley is the front of this ownership. She runs the ship. And that's quite clear. She is at the spearhead of everything, along with her husband, Meerdad, and the Rubens. We've seen it. Now, I don't know if Simon Jordan's just a bit jealous because a female is doing so well running a football club. I mean, that seems to be his rhetoric, to be honest. He can't stand anything she does. Whether it be positive, negative, it doesn't matter. This man cannot stand Amanda Staveley running a football club. He's just so jealous. And that jealousy is there to see and hear every single time Newcastle United get mentioned in any sort of thing that Jim White is talking about, while Simon Jordan's massive ego and massive head are also on the show with him. Now, he goes on to say, you're the owners of a big club in England. I think it's ridiculous to turn around and say you didn't expect that. If I bought Newcastle and set the town on fire, God forbid, I would know that Newcastle United getting into a cup final, that London will be inundated because they've got a remarkable fan base. Well, yes, we've got a remarkable fan base, but we've also got that because of what Amanda and the rest of them have done for the football club. This is our recognition. We turn up in our thousands to appreciate what Amanda, etc., are doing for our football club. What is so difficult for Mr. Numbnuts there to understand? We have we've always had a remarkable fan base, but we're also very appreciative of what the owners have brought to this club, getting rid of an absolute arsehole in Mike Ashley and giving us hope again, giving us a football club to enjoy going to the games to watch. Honestly, but he did face pushback. Martin Keown, to his credit, was in the studio at the same time, and he disagreed with everything that Jordan had to say, as did Jim White. In fact, I thought at one stage, when I watched the video of it, Martin Keown was going to get quite annoyed with him because, although I disagree with some things Martin Keown has said, he backed us up and said, he thinks it's a wonderful thing, it's a wonderful football club, etc. And he was very, very complimentary about Amanda and Newcastle United. So absolute hats off to Martin Keown for what he had to say, because he did stick up for us, in fairness. He went on to say it's preposterous. His favourite word in the world is preposterous, because everything to Simon Jordan is preposterous. He must look in the mirror on the morning and go, my God, this is preposterous. He said, oh, God, it's preposterous rubbish. That ownership model absolutely deserves those fans being behind them. Yes, that's pretty much easy to say. They've walked into a football club, have spent money in 1 year than Ashley probably spent in 5. Well, let's get it right, first of all, Mr. Jordan. Try 15 years, not 5. Don't try and say that Mike Ashley ran the club successfully for 10 years and spent loads of money. Let's not be in absolute truly bell end about that situation either. You bought it off a tyrant and given the town a feel-good factor. So the one thing you do deserve is an absolute support and fan base. You've just got them into a cup final. Well, yes, there you go. You've just got them into a cup final by spending some money on decent players, by bringing in a good manager. So that is what we're saying to you, Simon. That is why we turned up in our thousands to Trafalgar Square. That is why we turned up in our thousands to Wembley, because we want to show Newcastle United and the owners how much we appreciate what they've done. Because us getting to Wembley in the Ashley era was just a no-go. It was a no chance of happening because he had no ambition. So within a year and a half, we have now owners who have got us to a cup final and in the top 5 of the Premier League. So why is it a PR stunt? It's not. It's fact. It's there for all to see. Don't come out and slag Amanda Staveley off just because you're jealous, Simon. It's ridiculous, man. It really, I mean, I'm looking through the rest of the interview, and I think I've just said it all there, and what I've said about, the bit about dialing down the fake humility and look at reality. I mean, what a prick this man is. You can't say those things about Newcastle United, their owners, because we, as fans, have brains, Simon. We have brains, believe it or not, in the Northeast. And we drove bus, train, flew, whatever it took to get to London at the weekend to show our new owners what we think of them. Right? We didn't go into Wembley like Manchester United without our colours on just because we had a huff with the Glazers. However, when we were under Mike Ashley, we still went everywhere in our colours. But we went in our droves to London to see Newcastle United and show our new owners that we are right behind them. And you, Simon, are a jealous man who is just absolutely sick of seeing Amanda Staveley get some sort of success with a football club while you're a failed owner, sunshine. So try and, talk about something different when Newcastle United come on. Just keep your gob shut. Because the Newcastle fans all think you're an absolute bell end now. You've lost all respect with Newcastle United fans because, let me tell you, we are 110% behind Amanda Staveley, not you. You can come out with your, they're a remarkable fan base. You are the one that is putting on fake humility, matey. You are the one that's making a fool of yourself constantly on TalkSport because you're just jealous that a woman is absolutely so much more successful at running a football club in a year and a half, by the way, than you ever were. And the jealousy is seeping out of you, Simon. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that was Simon Jordan's comments. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is he jealous of Amanda Staveley? Is he jealous because he's a failed football owner? Is he jealous because she's female and doing so well? It's got to be something, guys, because he's constantly at it. Anyway, there has been a report today that Loris Karius may well have just saved his career by appearing in the Carabao Cup final because it looks like Serie A side Inter Milan are interested in signing the goalkeeper in the summer. Now, this will be massive for Karius. There is, of course, the possibility that they may stay at Newcastle United as number 2. Would I be opposed to that? Absolutely not. I think, Karius could be a very, very good number 2 to Nick Pope. And, if we are in Europe next season, I think he'll get plenty of games as well, cup games, etc., to give Nick Pope a rest. So I think it would be great if we could keep him on as number 2. I think Dubravka will be gone. Karl Darlow probably gone as well. So the door is open for Karius. And I think if he impresses in training now, the rest of the year, he may well get a new contract at Newcastle. But we'll see. Now, a report by Kieran Kelly in the Chronicle reporting that some Newcastle players are now fighting for their lives at the club. He believes that Eddie Howe is going to be ruthless in the summer, which, you know what? I think he will be. I think we need a clear out of the rest of the dead wood at Newcastle United. We've been saying that since the takeover. And there is a lot of players to be shipped out. That there is no doubt about. So I'm not particularly thinking that Eddie Howe's going to be ruthless. I think it's just going to be that he understands in his brain that we need to get rid of the dead wood. Some of these players just aren't going to cut it for where Newcastle United want to be. Look back to Amanda's comments and saying we want to win the Champions League, the Premier League, etc. Some of these players are nowhere near good enough, that standard. So they will be fighting for their lives. But I think Eddie Howe knows in his own mind right now who is not going to be staying at Newcastle United. It's clear. Chris Waugh also reported that PIF are sort of monitoring the situation as well. And decisions mainly on players who don't play a lot. PIF have been looking at those, the likes of Lascelles, Dubravka, Matt Ritchie, Paul Dummett, all of those type of players that haven't had a lot of football this season. PIF have also been keeping a close eye on that. And they will all be liaising with each other. Darren Eales, Dan Ashworth, Eddie Howe, Amanda, they'll all be together, they'll all be discussing this, and it will all go back to the chairman, and he will discuss everything with PIF. We seem to know how that works now at Newcastle United. There seems to be a process whenever something like this happens, but the chairman was there on Sunday. He will have seen, what it could be at Newcastle United. He saw that remarkable support, the fans, the flags, the whole lot. He will have seen photos or videos from Trafalgar Square because me, Dad and Jamie Rubin were there in disguise, of course. So he will have seen all that. And he'll know what the potential is of this football club if we actually win something. It'll be remarkable. It's pretty obvious to me that the powers that be at the football club will be looking at these players without a shadow of a doubt. Now, Fabrizio Romano has come out and said that he is literally 100% sure that Newcastle United will go back in for James Maddison. I don't think this story's ever going to end until James Maddison goes anywhere, whether it be Newcastle or another club. It's never going to end. James Maddison, for me, would have been a perfect player to have on the pitch on Sunday. He would have really unlocked Manchester United. He would have certainly taken some pot shots on goal. And possibly the result could have been different if we'd had a James Maddison in that side. But that's all pie in the sky because he's not a Newcastle player at the moment. But Romano is pretty confident that he will be at some stage, which is interesting. Now, Dominic Shaw from the Northern Echo has given us an indication of injuries. Of course, Bruno went off limping. Apparently, he has twisted an ankle again. But Eddie Howe says it doesn't seem serious, which is very, very good because, look, last time he twisted an ankle, he was back the week after, running around like Bruno does. So I'm not really worried about that situation at all with regards to Bruno. Eddie says it doesn't think it's serious, so I'm going to go what Eddie Howe says, and hopefully he'll be back because we need him for Man City. My God, do we need him for Man City? That could be a very difficult game at the Empty-Had on Saturday. And finally on Sean Longstaff. Now, a lot of people thought that Sean Longstaff, including myself, thought that he'd come off because he was injured on Sunday. Took a very, very nasty injury, tackle from Fred, of all people. And he went down. He did get up and continue the half, but he was in quite considerable pain, which I thought was why he took him off. But Eddie Howe has confirmed that it was tactical. He said we needed to make an early change because time was running out on us. We had to go at Manchester United, and bringing Sean Longstaff off and putting Isak on was was the best thing to do. He said it wasn't anything to do with how Sean was playing. It was simply a tactical move to try and get us back in the game. So I have to say, well done to Eddie Howe on that for actually making a brave decision at half time. We've said quite a few times that he waits possibly too long to make a change, but not this time. He'd made a tactical change, but hey-ho. And that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you think of Simon Jordan's comments more than anything that I've gone through today. I'm pretty glad Karius has probably got a future outside Newcastle, if he doesn't sign a contract, of course, and be our number 2. But Simon Jordan was the main talking point today. I think his comments were absolutely disgraceful, really degrading to Amanda Staveley, saying that it was just a PR stunt, what she said about the fans and the rest of it. I think it's a disgusting thing to say. And you know what? People say, oh, don't let him get to you, don't let him get to you. But this isn't about getting to me. This is about sticking up for my football club, and the owners, who've done a wonderful job since they've took over, have given me and thousands of other Newcastle fans new hope and ambition that, what happened at the weekend is just a taster of what's to come in the future. That's why I'm so annoyed at Simon Jordan, because he's trying to, I really don't know. I don't know what his problem is with Amanda. I really don't. But I don't really give a shit, but I'm sticking up for my football club and sticking up for our owners because of what they've done so far. But let me know in the comments what you think, guys. But do hit the like button before you leave. It is so important, guys, that we do keep getting those likes and keep going up the search results, of course, on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Come and be part of this amazing community on the Toon Review. And, of course, hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live, we upload, or we schedule in a show. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.